King RD is a legend in Brazil in terms of his popularity, in terms of how long he's been playing for. King RD, obviously one of the more skilled players in Brazil, and again, one of the more popular players. And we'll see what they decide to do for him in terms of what he picks up for his supports. Cat going to be the in-game leader as well as the drafter here for SG Esports on OG. Same story. Fly is going to be the captain here in this one. We'll see what they decide to go for. And again, such a dangerous team to deal with. Already banning out the Warlock and the Magnus. So this leaves a lot of interesting heroes up for OG. But to start it off, SG will in fact go for the first overall pick, Clockwork. So,
okay, so not exactly the. For some teams, more willing to.
Remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Monkey King.
OG's turn to pick.
It certainly is.
Who, like in terms of those most banned heroes people are expecting coming into the Kiev Major, I would put Magnus, Abaddon, as well as Monkey King and Earth Spirit somewhere up there near the top. So keep an eye on them for as we start moving forward here. But they take the Monkey King, and then they take one of the more common counters in the Bat Rider.
This is a hero I was talking with a couple of the Brazilian broadcasters, and actually, this is a hero that SG seemed to go for in the offlane a lot. So OG going for that Bat Rider early on into this game, and so kind of a different meta than we've seen in some of the EU games recently, but a lot of these teams haven't played too much coming into the majors, right? So interesting to see both the Monkey King and the Bat Rider coming out in these first 2 picks, and that leaves SG the next pick to come out as well.
Reserve time.
Yeah, they. I know they're big fans of the Vengeful Spirit. It's possible they might look to it because it counters both Monkey King and Bat Rider. Being able to use the swap to take people outside of the ulti as well as the lasso. But they're just going to open up the Crystal Main instead. Maybe a little bit safer, perhaps thinking that hopefully that Venge will be landing her way into the second phase of the draft if they're so fortunate. But we all know how great Crystal Maiden is with that aura, and if you are going to run one of these greedier position 4 heroes like a Clockwork, who really needs that mana to roam around and actually be effective without going back to base every 2 seconds, then Crystal Maiden's definitely the hero for you.
Yeah, I mean, Frostbite early on, that 60 damage talent if you want to go for it in terms of farm and getting greedy. Absolutely. Can get chased down pretty easily by this Bat Rider if she's not careful. And the Monkey King, too. So that is something to keep in mind. Big ultis aplenty. We've seen a lot of really good CMs recently in both EU, SCA regions as well. Is there any hero that's jumping out to you right now that you're surprised hasn't been picked? Maybe, for example, like the Earth Spirit. I know King RD loves to play it. OG, obviously, probably the best Earth Spirit player in the world. So he's not been picked up yet. He's not been touched. And we kind of see maybe a bit of a downturn with Earth Spirit recently, Trent, potentially.
I think he'll still be very popular throughout the tournament. If I had to guess the reasoning behind it, probably they think the Clockwork's a better counter to the Monkey King. If you were going to open with the Earth Spirit, it would probably be because SG Esports would see it as being the hero that's superior to Monkey King and also fills that same role. So that's what people have said a lot about Earth Spirit, especially through like the 1437 videos, as well as just even leading up to DAC. It's kind of the big thing everyone talked about was if you were going to leave in the Monkey King, you kind of had to have that Earth Spirit for yourself. But if you're willing to run support Clockwork, he also, besides destroying the trees that Earth Spirit can do, Clockwork has the flare. Fantastic scouting abilities, extremely good against the Monkey King. So I assume in their eyes, they feel the Clockwork's going to be better than Earth Spirit in that case. So we'll have to see if they do wind up putting as the 4. I mean, OG are banning out these mid heroes probably for both slots. Just saying that that's the one thing we can guarantee about your draft is that you haven't picked your mid, unless they're doing some WWD strats. I don't know. I've seen NA pubs where we have the mid clock, but he also brought out that mid void for a while first. You never know, but let's just assume it's probably going to be the 3 or the 4 on this one.
Sorry, everybody. Had to restart. The issue should be fixed now. My apologies. We should be good to go. We'll get further into the draft here. So, Alk banned out. That's a hero that I was not expecting to get banned. But to be fair, it is something that OG used to pick pretty often as well. But, I mean, you think this hero is dead right now, Trent. And I think for good reason.
Yeah. At least in terms of our competitive games, the ones that we've been casting and watching lately since DAC, since the patch, since the change to his ultimate, in which now you have about a 16-second-ish downtime, even with Octarine Core on your ultimate, it just gives such a bigger window to actually punish and kill this guy. So I do agree that if there's any team that's going to pick it, it's going to be OG. So they love these illusion heroes, right? They always try and use them to give themselves vision. And when you're playing with a Bat Rider and a Monkey King, they're already swimming in vision. If they have any more, it's going to be not only very difficult for you to achieve things with your Clockwork, it's going to be hard to try and block these vision kind of advantages out from OG when they're coming in with these big lassos on you. And speaking of lassos, another fantastic combination in the silencer. Very used to seeing that where we just global silence lasso in, and there's nothing you can do even if you do pick some of those counters like the Venge, who is still left in for SG if they need it.
Yeah, that is definitely an option for them. But we'll see what they want to grab. I'm kind of interested in what they're going to grab in the one position for OG. And what's been really strong recently, obviously Ursa's had a fair bit of play. What else has been picked a lot in the one position? There's definitely a couple of heroes that I'm forgetting.
Well, they did a couple of their little shenanigans with like Arc Ward and stuff, like Terrorblade's still in, which is one of the bigger ones in terms of like those illusion heroes once again. We'll have to watch for. I would also be wondering about maybe a Rubik here too. I mean, you don't really want to reveal any of your other cores this early. More than likely, you could just pick him up now. He's a great counter to the Clockwork. You can steal Freezing Field very easily from Crystal Maiden in team fights.
This is something we talked about in our last couple of games, like how Rubik is such a pretty common hero for OG, and the fact that if it's not going to be taken out in the second banning phase, there's a good chance that OG will pick it up. So there's a lot of potential here in this game, especially against the CM as you were mentioning. So let's see. We'll see what they want to go for here. 1 minute left in reserve time.
Surprised. My companion is not looking too good, Mott. I was thinking that he would end up being the most banned just from all the games lately.
Oh yeah, you made that big prediction the other day, and I was like,
To be fair though, I will say I think Monkey King is one of the best heroes against Abaddon, so it's kind of hard into the old MK.
Yeah, the good old Monkey King.
On Abaddon. There's not very many.
Yeah, not a lot. Definitely
but
not
Monkey
a lot.
King's one of them.
I mean, he's just got so much versatility. What a hero, honestly. This is going to be one of the, I think, the defining heroes of this tournament, which is not saying a whole lot. I mean, that's a pretty standard thing to say. Rasa coming out, though. We've seen a couple of Rasas in recent games. Very good lockdown, good pushing potential as well with the Serpent Wards, in combination with, say, something like an Invoker with Sunstrike. Very strong as well. So Rasa not a bad pick here for OG.
The thing is that Aghanims we've seen a couple times with this pick. If you actually do get to that point, which is pretty common, especially with Midases and whatnot now, if you get a half decent early start, even on a 5 roll, it does so much damage right now. In terms of taking towers and stuff, it can just kind of win you a game. So the other options you talked about, the Rubik, and then the other big one was that Visage. They've been running quite a bit for Fly too, which is again would have provided even more vision for the Monkey King and the Bat Rider. And instead, it's kind of showing that maybe they're more concerned about some solid lockdown, depending on what SG want to bring out here. They tend to go with like the wilder mids, right, in the South American scene. Those TAs and Storm Spirits are very common. So those sort of heroes, you're always happy to have a Shadow Shaman versus them. Sure. But we will get an Enigma now. So another good hero up against the Monkey King, and just generally solid push and control. And again, one of the more favorite heroes here for OG themselves.
Now, we've seen Enigma a ton in the off-lane position as of recently, especially for OG in the past couple of tournaments. But it is going to be with a Clockwork on top of it. So more than likely going to be an Enigma 4 position, Trent, or will we see that support Clockwork that we don't see too often?
Yeah, I think it's going to be support Clock and off-lane Enigma.
Okay.
Likely thing here. So again, I think it makes sense against one Monkey King still left in the draft. So
I'm
willing to
there it is.
And there he is.
There he is. You said it for a reason. You talked about it, man.
Well, especially the Shadow Shaman too, right? When it comes to the whole idea of quick push and whatnot. Arc Warden, he is a weird dude. I don't know.
He's very weird.
Definitely the least understood hero.
10 seconds.
Question there, like against pro players and analysts. I mean, the last time I think it was DAC got picked, and they're just like, started asking questions to each other on the panel. It's just like, I don't know. Like, no one knows that much about this guy.
We were lucky enough to witness an Arc Warden game played by Empire's Chappie, and they came back in that game. And I got to say,
that was terrifying.
Magnetic Field is actually insane for high ground defense. You just drop 2 right near your tower, and good luck taking it. They even had a sniper plinking away, and they're just like, well, I guess we can't do anything. I guess we're just going to have to try to win a fight or something. I don't know. They eventually couldn't. They took the tier 3 tower. They got the racks, but they took so long. It was just ridiculous to play up against this Arc Warden. He has plenty of damage from his nukes. He also has obviously very good right-click damage. His attack range is insane later on. If you get like Hurricane Pike and then you get the attack range down too. He's a lot of fun to watch, though. I'm a big fan, but I think a lot of it, Trent, does come down to his potentially his landing phase and getting that Midas early on.
Would probably be his most vulnerable part, too. So if they want to pressure in here, I mean, Shadow Shaman, pretty weak in terms of dual lanes and tri-lanes. Like, one of his stuns requires him to just stand still. So not exactly the most solid stuff when you're in those earlier engagements. So if you really don't want to protect this guy coming up into the Midas, then Monkey King's probably just going to have to be putting more of his time towards the Arc Warden rather than the mid lane. So we'll keep an eye on him. I'm sure JRX knows quite a bit about his rotations here, so not too much of a concern. As we just look for a Ana hero here to round things out up against a Slark from SG Esports. Again, another one of those more common heroes for the South American scene. Yeah,
that is it definitely is a go-to. It's interesting. I've heard a lot. He's been playing a lot of Jug. He's been playing a lot of Luna recently for HFN, but it is going to be the Slark this game, along with the Enigma CM. So they have some pretty good control, pretty good AoE damage as well. This Arc Warden can easily get picked off if it's not his Tempest double. We'll see what's going to happen here. Last couple of bans, it is the Ember Spirit ban from OG, a fair ban against SG Esports as they're looking for the mid currently. And SG, well, they're going to have to ban a mid as well, and we'll see what they
probably Invoker.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
That's what I would ban, I would say. Pretty common OG hero. Something they're very familiar with. I believe that's what they ran the last time they ran TA. But actually, they'll take out the TA themselves.
Yeah, they're not going to go for it, which I think is kind of interesting to hear. They've been playing a lot on ADR. But we'll see what they go for. Not a whole lot of reserve time here. Both teams taking all the time in the world they need to make sure they've got this correct. So we're going to get to our last picks here. So Invoker is available, as you mentioned, for OG. Plenty of, in terms of the early game with Exhort and Sunstrike, you have the Shackles, as we mentioned. You have Batrider Lasso, even the Stun, the Boundless Strike from Monkey King is pretty good too. So, but overall, a lot of control. It's going to be the Puck for SG Esports, though, so even more control and lockdown ready to go.
Yeah.
And then the Faceless Void, there it is for OG. Woo!
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
OG are bringing out the strats early on here, it would seem. So that's...
Let's go.
Looking forward to this, but
they're not hiding anything. They're like, let's go for Arc Warden, Faceless Void right from the get-go. We'll see if this sets a trend, man. I don't know. I'm excited. I think SG has a very standard lineup. It could work very well, other than maybe the support Clockwork, if that's the way that it's going to go. But what a draft coming out from OG, man. This is looking pretty fun to watch already in the first game.
I'm racking my brain here, but I can definitely not recall Ana ever playing Batrider. So I'm not sure if that's what's going on here.
It could be, yeah.
Well, we'll have to find out. It was definitely Noto who played the Arc Warden the last time too, as well, in terms of like a laning situation here. So this is pretty crazy. But the Enigma, Faceless Void, they're pretty good friends, right? Double bubble strats, very familiar stuff here. But they'll be up against each other this time, so it's almost like a waiting game in terms of like that Chrono and the Black Hole. Obviously, Chrono a little bit easier to execute and lay over people than the Black Hole is going to be when you're trying to work around this Chronosphere. So. In terms of his cancellation, though, it's not awful. I mean, the Monkey King Boundless Strike is brutal.
Yeah, it's really good in the early game until you get that BKB. Chrono, obviously, if you can get to that point, but that's about it, right? That's all I can really tell, unless I'm missing something. Maybe Hex from Shadow Shaman, too?
Yeah, a little bit of the shorter range ones, but
yeah,
not
all right, who's playing one here? Let's take a look. Ana is on Arc Warden, No-Tail is on Faceless Void, and S4 is on Batrider. So
we'll
I think that gives us all the information.
I mean, it would be pretty Batrider S4 playing it, to be fair. So I can't say I'm too,
that's not that
too surprised. But Ana on the Arc Warden, so that's pretty cool. So looks like both their players, obviously, very flexible, super into the hero here. So. And just the typical position 1 carry Void. Not a very common hero these days, but as you were saying, like bring them up. Who do we even have left? There was like the Ursa, but maybe they didn't feel like they had enough survivability in terms of that hero in the earlier stages. I do think the idea of banning out someone like that TA in terms of like Roshan control is an interesting point there from SG Esports, and that is something that Faceless Void doesn't really give you. Like, he gives you control around the pit, but they don't have a hero to really help them Rosh early on at all.
Exactly.
On the Radiant side.
I was going to say, well, you're really for the Dire, too, when you look at it. I mean, there's not really... I guess with the Enigma, you do have the Eidolons, makes it a bit easier, but it's when you think of these heroes, you don't necessarily think, all right, we can Rosh early with these guys in the Dire side.
I mean, they could use the Snake Wards, I suppose, might be one of their better opportunities. So maybe if they can get a medallion earlier on one of these heroes, like a Solar Crest Monkey King or something like that, then that's been kind of popular lately, so we'll probably see that come out and try and use that to control up the pit.
Tapo is going to pick himself up an Iron Talon here to start things off. King RD is going to be playing the support Clockwork. We'll see how this goes for him. Other items coming out, Orb of Venom for JRX, nothing too surprising there. And of course, a Poor Man's Shield eventually for No-Tail. No contention at the runes. Nobody really trying to get too aggressive early on into this game. Really just trying to make sure they can secure their runes and get a good start to their farm. Dear God. They all said that at once. It was really loud, so I have to turn my voice down. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, the most aggressive thing so far will be this ward placed out here by OG. Likely in case they zone out the Enigma fully down bottom. In fact, he's just going to start here, and they're going to know that, which is sick. So they can just straight up start pushing as fast as possible down bottom on OG if they want to try and bring that attention there instead. And Crystal Maiden too, right? You expect even if Enigma shows bottom, CM's going to be in this zone, starting to get her first early levels, so you'll be able to watch her rotations and just help S4 have the best time possible up here.
All right. Trent, tell me about this mid lane matchup. Well, we don't see it too often. We don't really see
JerAx is on the hunt, dude. He's coming in.
For that courier. Oh, he's got the courier. Auto attack the range. Yes, thank you very much. I will take that courier kill.
First blood of the Kiev Major, ladies and gentlemen.
Monkey Kinged. It happens again.
It's just.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
It's so standard at this point.
I could have. They could have been prepared. I guess they could have waited, but yeah.
It's a little surprising to go for that without seeing the Monkey King first. But they get punished for it. Pretty painful stuff. And now JerAx can just kind of chill around here and sap a little bit of experience. Like that one. You give me that one creep. Yes. And I'm out of here. No way to punish, of course. Only Eidolons. You know that he has absolutely zero chance of doing anything to you as Monkey King, so it might as well. You don't have the best kill potential on a mid lane of a puck, so very common hero up against the fiend that is Earth Spirit. So Monkey King has to find these other heroes to go for.
Top lane, Frostbite. They have the battery salt as well. I don't know if they can get this kill. S4 is pretty tanky at this point. Are they going to dive this? It looks like they will. He has this out, but they won't be able to get it off. King RD will secure himself first blood and walk his way all the way around, back up towards that top lane. So S4 getting punished a little early on here. Pretty good kill from SG.
It's
just a tree walking through mid.
Here. Yeah.
It's like, oh, look at that. There's a tree mid.
He's just hunting down this Enigma.
Bottom. Yeah, he's like, I am just, wherever you go, I am going to leech your experience. And guess what? I'll take your bounty runes too. And Tavo's like, God, come on.
There's not too much, like, he wants the bat right to get as many levels as possible. Again, Puck, like, one of the most common reasons we even see this hero is to counter out these 4 roamers. So, the only option really is to hunt this guy down. Oh, what a haste rune for Fly.
They are going for it. Oh, they missed the jump. Tavo still might be okay. Fly has a haste rune, though. He's picked up, he hasn't skilled anything yet. He's level 2. He can hold the points. Instead, they're going to chase after JerAx. King RD coming in, battery salt's available, but again, it's so hard to chase this guy down. Just jumps into a tree, forces out a couple of rotations. And he leaves top, which means JerAx is making some space here.
Yeah, and Cat has also reached level 2, so we do have the Arcane Aura going now for King RD. And if you guys haven't seen support Clockwork before, it's pretty boss, honestly. It's crazy. You know, you play this offlane Clockwork, you get 1v1 against the support, you know what happens, right? That's how you, like, recover in the lane if you have a rough time.
Yeah.
Just find this guy and start giving him the battery assault. So in the support role, in a case like that, even if it's a fellow offlaner, you can just 1v1 him using your battery assault with a little bit of a slow or a stun as came up from our Crystal Maiden here.
And the thing is also, he doesn't require the most farm in the world. We've seen a lot of Clockworks recently go for Midas, but those have been off-lane Clockworks. This guy's in a support position. He really just wants his level 6. He's already got boosts to go for. So he'll be in a pretty good position as he's starting to leech a little bit of experience bottom. But No Tail is getting complete free farm, but also in the top lane. HFN is doing the same as S4 is jungling it up right now. His level 1 Firefly as well as Steam Napalm.
Yeah, and that means through the first 3.5 minutes here in terms of like game time, then we're pretty well even across the board. No serious discrepancies amongst the lanes, really. Maybe the biggest part would be the Bat Rider versus the Enigma. So Enigma's just getting a little bit more farm due to the death there on S4, but he's catch up now. Just got himself some Firefly plays over here in the jungle. Now just finishing things off with the Napalm, but it's going to be another full minute before he gets his camps back, so he'll have to figure out something else to do after this bounty run.
Yeah. Let's see what where they head here, and really who makes the first move. I mean, in terms of pressure for SG, I believe you probably wait for your Shadow Blade or whatever item you're going to pick up for your Slark. I don't know who makes that first rotation early on in this game. Like, when do we see a smoke trend?
Yeah, you really hope if you're on SG, you hope they dive one of these side lanes, so 40R can go for a TP and just do that classic puck play. And just TP in, orb, ulti. It's such a good controlling ultimate in the early game with the Dream Coil. It really helps set up into like Black Hole or even just Crystal Maiden getting close. You think about the support Clockwork too.
Ooh, Cogs will come out. They have Frostbite ready. Spark Rift will come through. The Illusory Rift jumping, waiting Rift. They should get the kill and they'll find it. Shackle's a little bit too late. Fly now taking a lot of damage. They're going to come in. S4 still getting battery assaulted. This was still going for the last couple of moments. Frostbite will come out. Good Ether Shock. A lot of damage, but S4 getting turned on. Illusory perfectly done from ADR. Finds himself the kill. And meanwhile, Monkey King's going to come in, but he doesn't have the Boundless Strike. Can't find a stun. He already used his Primal Spring, and now he's going to try to go on Cat. Can they get this? The Shrine will come out. He wants his kill in ADR. He's going to jump through. The Shrine will come in. The Waning Rift. An excellent play from ADR. He finds himself a double kill. Goes down south, Illusory Orbs north, and then boom. Picks up a kill. Perfectly done there.
Oh, it's pretty hard to pass that up as Jerax, but he's maybe a little bit under-leveled, still level 2, so it's hard to finish that one out when you don't have the Boundless Strike. I think maybe he's counting on getting one of those quick right-clicks in to then get the Boundless Strike and perhaps pick up a couple more, so it was a big play off for it, and now it's No-Tail, who's still really holding this time walk.
Cogburn coming out. He'll time walk to the north. Frostbite's not going to be there in time. Maybe.
Oh, it is.
Cat, can it get there? He's just he went to the south instead. He couldn't quite find that Frostbite. Would have been a perfect kill for them. Still, they forced out the TP. A little bit of damage dealt to No-Tail in the meantime, and back to farming we go.
Yeah, a bit of a heartbreaker there for SG Esports, but still 4-0 for them. Not the start I think people were expecting here.
Don't think it's time to get too nervous yet if you're an OG fan, though. Pretty good middle game to late game kind of lineup.
I hear they're a pretty good team, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think
I've heard some things.
Did you see, like, the chart that Gorgon posted in terms of, like, top gold sharing and kill participation? I think both of them were OG, I believe. Interestingly enough, SG, out of all teams in this tournament, they give the most to their carry. I think it's like more than 30% gold sharing goes to HFN.
It's so classic South American Dota 2.
It really is, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Illusory Orb coming out. Good Clockwork rotation, but Anna, he does have his rain traps. Cogburn will come through. Fly was getting ready. Throw us an Ether Shock just for good measure onto ADR, and that'll end any sort of aggression coming in. So just kind of back and forth action. Looking at the net worth, though, as expected, Slark has had utter free farm top lane, and guess what? No-Tail has that as well, so they've both got free farm. Puck is a little bit higher than Anna, about 600 net worth or so, but still very even game. And remember, you have to remember that Monkey King is still very good in the mid to late game. If you can find that Bash or Echo Saber, whatever you want to pick up, you get your Wukong's command. Still a very good hero for those team fights.
Look at the vision pressure they're putting on right now. Ward dropped here. Ward dropped here. Ward dropped here.
Good vision, this Radiant team.
It's like rather than letting this puck rotate, and they just smoked right into that ward.
Did they see that smoke? He walked here. They must have seen it.
Yeah, and the puck was under this ward over here as well and got smoked through the tree line, so they 100% know this is happening. It is a hasted puck coming, though, so it might catch S4 still off guard.
I don't think is ready for this. They missed the pounce coming out. He'll break the Dream Coil, but might not be able to make it anyways. He's get the Firefly up and going. The ownage call from SG Esports at 7.5 minutes into the game. Pretty good start so far, but like you said, a lot of good vision for OG here, Trent.
That's the thing, though. Like, everything's happening where they don't have this vision, though. If they can keep trying to, like, focus down this tower, maybe that's what it seems, right? This vision seems to suggest that's what they want to do. But Chrono top, they're thinking about it. Yeah,
pounce away. Dark Pact as well. No-Tail decides not to go for it.
If they had Jingu, maybe, but Jerax not stacked up yet.
Oh my God, Cap might die here. Oh, that Tempest Double almost killed him. It's a scary thing. Going up against the Tempest Double as a CM. Meanwhile, King RD is very deep. Good cog push where the Primal Spring was going to land. Can he TP out? No-Tail, again, he does have Chronosphere, and King RD realizes this. So I imagine he'll probably just die for his sins here. Taunting away while this is all happening, and Tavo finds a kill bottom on Fly. I was not expecting it. Battery still to come out. They are still chasing this man. Firefly, and he'll try for the TP. They have Chrono, and they will get it anyways without it. So first kill of the game for OG. They do waste a lot of time there. And again, they did get a kill for Tavo down bottom while that was all happening.
And they put the kill onto Jerax, so that really helps him get back in this one. They also put the XP at 113, but it's 300 gold.
Black Hole's available. Is he going to go for this? I think he might. He's thinking about it still. The Eidolon's not doing enough yet.
Always.
Cat's going to come in with the Crystal Nova. He's so close. They'll find it. The Frostbite is there. And they'll find Fly again. Another big pick there from SG. And by the way, Trent, Drums of Endurance being built for this Enigma, which I think is a pretty good early game sort of item if they want to start knocking these towers down.
Yeah, that is a quick push strat coming out there. And yeah, he has the full bracer flying out already, so can be a little bit tankier. Pops that into his backpack, get that extra regen here on the shrine, but they want to kind of race down OG, get as much pressure as possible. Again, like Eric Warden, he needs that Midas, and he's still not that close. So he's just going to be farming away the whole time. Shadow Shaman pretty weak in these earlier stages as well. Still sitting on just level 3. Definitely the biggest discrepancy here is those levels on these supports too. Like his Clockwork's owning, he's almost level 5. CM's already level 5 with a little bit of some greedier play in the jungle.
It is a 4,000 experience advantage for SG early on in this game. HFN is a bit deep. He will back up one away. By the way, his Shadow Blade is very close to completion, and when that happens, they're really going to start moving around the map, Trent.
Yeah, it's crazy. They really don't have the best like pushers or anything like that. At least not in the top lane. Enigma hasn't really shown up here, and they've still knocked down this tower. So HFN having an absolutely fantastic time. He's 600 gold ahead of the next highest person in the game, and that's his own Puck.
Malefice onto Jerax. The Eidolon's going to work again, taking a lot of damage. The Boundless Strike comes out, not really doing much. Meanwhile, some other heroes rotating through ADR thinking about it. There is a ward here for the Radiant, so they know this is happening. And I imagine they won't defend this tower if everybody from SG rotates in to try to take it.
Yeah, Jerax had a TP
elsewhere.
out too, just because he was so low, and they have this ward with them coming in, so... All this vision is like, it's kind of saving OG, at least from further pickoffs, but they're not able to capitalize on it at all. I guess maybe they just don't really have the heroes, right? Because S4, he's also going for the farm up route. Doesn't have his lasso yet. He's just like, all right, I don't really have a buddy who's going to help me. My Shadow Shaman's too low to do anything. We don't have that burst of a Sunstrike or something in the mid lane. I just have two guys that are looking to farm. So I'm just going to keep using my Firefly and my Napalm to get that gold, but he's holding the point.
I believe the CM is dead. Yeah. They will get the Tempest double, but that's not going to help, unfortunately. So that's the power when you're a CM against a Tempest doubled Arc Warden. It's not a lot of fun. And it gives them a lot of room top 2 to work and get this farm for no-tail as well. So kind of a big kill there, actually.
Yeah, nice pick there by Anna. Very much needed. However, you know, they have lost bottom, and Tavo is just sitting down here doing his thing, getting that maximum GPM. If there's anyone who knows about this, it is definitely OG. I've seen S4 do it so many times now, where you just get to the state of the game that you're absolutely insane. You can go for the GPM or the cooldown reduction. If you have that Midas early on, you tend to see the cooldown reduction more so, but we could see Tavo mix it up this game. But either way, the whole idea just being get these auras going, move together, and into the later stages of the game, you get that Octarine core, and it's absolutely absurd what you can do. But it's OG who are getting aggressive with the Shadow Blade up here on HFN, and this is going to be a tough grab.
Yeah, this is not an easy one.
They have skilled the lasso.
He is in trouble. Boundless Strike. The Hex will come out as well. The Shackles are there. They need the Illusion. Good Dream Coil coming out the way. Can they turn this around? Fly getting jumped up potentially. Now the Malefice coming through from top. He's got Black Hole ready. He wants to use it so bad. Great hook shot from KRD. They get the Black Hole onto 2. S4 will end up falling. Illusion forward. They jaunt through as well. Jerax is hightailing out with the Primal Spring. He says, I do not want to be here right now, but HFN is on the hunt. Can he get up and get through? Battery Assault. It should not be there, but they get the kill without it. King RD finds himself a double kill. 3 taken down. Oh, ADR, what a counter initiation with that Dream Coil, and then the Black Hole to follow it up, Trent. My God.
Yeah, and again, the wards are here. You know, they placed them ahead of this, and it still can't help them. They're just getting caught and caught, and they have a Slark, so goodbye.
Yeah. Even with all this good vision early on for OG, like you mentioned, it's just not transitioning into the kills they want. So a 7,500 net worth advantage at 12 minutes in for SG Esports, the pride of Brazil. A pretty good start for them so far, Trent, and we'll see if they can keep the pressure mounted here as they maybe look for this mid-tier 1 tower. Uh-oh, Jerax. Believe you very well may be dead.
Yeah, not much you can do as Monkey when you jumped on like that, and it's so good as a Slark when they're the ones who jump on you when you Shadow Blade first. Like, they are just rolling with momentum right now in SG Esports.
Oh, Chronosphere is going to come out, no tail. They've dove the tower. Tavo getting caught up. The Flux is there. Uses Spark Wraith as well. They only get the Tempest double. Now they'll use that Shadow Dance. ADR gets a kill on the back lines in the meantime. Time walk forward, Cap maybe looking for no tail hook shot. That'll be into S4, but it's KRD that just wants to get out right now. Already looking pretty good. OG trying to turn this around, jump in. Dash is not there for no tail. Meanwhile, they will lose Anna on the back lines. There's going to be the freezing field. No tail time walks in. The cogs are there. He's right on the edge. He'll take some damage, but meanwhile, he will pick off King RD. So a couple of heroes falling. ADR coming back in. Can he go for no tail? Illusory up, jump in. Waning Rift is there. Good pass from no tail. He's got at least a little bit of lifesteal. It's not enough though from that Vlad's. And S4 going a little too far forward. Now they get the Malefice off. He's going to be able to Firefly, but is it going to be enough? A couple more auto attacks. It's the Illusion. And again, ADR gets himself a double kill. So OG looking like they had a pretty good start to that fight, but it just turned sour at the last couple of moments.
Unbelievable. I thought HMM was going to go down there. And with all that, like, everything's spent. They only get the Enigma and the Clockwork, and they lose a couple big cores for it as well. In fact, all 3 of them. So SG Esports still firing on all cylinders despite a little bit of a deep dive, and they've even gone the greedy route. I mean, that's a Midas Puck. This guy didn't invest in that blink early. He's almost up to 3,000 gold right now, and he hasn't even spent it yet.
If he wants it, he can have it. He might be saving for Veil. We'll see if that's going to be the case. He also isn't there for Treads, which again, he's pulling the money, man, and there it is. It is the Blank Dagger, as you previously mentioned. So.
Oh, he's so rich, though. That is just absurd. And this mechanism will be coming out relatively soon onto Tavo. But just having the drums and the headdress even is quite a bit of sustain and regen. You have the CM aura again, and they know. I mean, they can feel this giant lead that's there in that gold graph, and they need to pressure and push as much as possible, because this is OG Dota. You don't want to lay up, you know?
Yeah, that is a good way of putting it. It's a very good way of putting it, Trent. And again, high ground defense is pretty significant when you get Anna to the late game. He does have his Midas. He's working at his Maelstrom.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. Like, it is definitely not over yet. Not even close. It's very early into this game, 15 minutes in, and SG, this lead might mean a lot now, but we'll see what it's going to turn into. What other items are coming out as we see the smoke coming in? Mech is going to be next for Tavo. We've already talked about the Blink Dagger from ADR. JRX starting to pick up his phase. After the Vlad's no tail, what is he going to touch? Looks like a Yasha for now.
There's some standard carry void stuff, it seems.
They can't quite take that tier 1 mid, so they think they're going to make a try here on the tier 2 tower. Sentry will spot out HFN, and I don't think the smoke will be successful. Not yet, anyway. Meanwhile, ADR on the high ground. Illusion Orb has already been used. Phase Shift going to come out. He'll jaunt away as well in the tree line. Yeah.
Arcane Orb, too, so helpful for a puck.
Ooh, they might have just seen him. No, that was the OG ping, so... All right, so some time being wasted here for SG Esports. They continue to keep this tier 1 tower alive on OG's side. All right.
Tower's very important for OG right now. Just the last bastion of farming here. They really don't want to drop these last two just because of the range of the clockwork. If there's no tower there, I mean, they just have no fear of diving you. That's the only thing that's keeping Anno alive in these situations. And you're bunding up your Faceless Void and your Arc Ward, man. This is not good.
Oh, fly.
We've all been that support, guys.
Yeah, oh, yes.
We know that feeling. The Slark shows up, and you're just like, well,
I'm dead.
It's been a good life.
Yeah. I'll try to buy before I die, but maybe I'll die too quickly. We'll see. Midas as well for the Slark. Working on that ultimate orb to get to the Silver Edge. And I got to say, S4 not had the greatest early game in terms of farm. Jumping Chronosphere, and it'll just find Tavo. And then bring him down the Wukong's command. This could be a huge kill. The Boundless Strike. Nicely done. Good pick. OG will finally get a hero, but they're going to try to counter-initiate. Hookshot comes in under No Tail. The Cog push is there. They've got the pounce up as well. No Tail in trouble. The silence is there. The magnetic field is not doing enough. Carity going to push back. They drop the Serpent Wards, and they've got the Hex up as Shackles as well onto HFN. He'll pop the Shadow Dance. He wants JRX. He's got the pounce. It's 3 dead on SG. OG with a great turnaround. Spark Raid coming through. He's got Silver Edge in one. There's the Primal Spring. He'll turn onto JRX, get the kill, and try to get out, but it's the Ether Shock that cleans it up. So a counter initiation that is botched by SG Esports. What a turnaround fight from OG, and it's as you expect, I think, Trent.
Yeah, that's about a 2,500 net worth swing. Now, I guess SG Esports, they haven't gone all in, right? They've gone back and purchased these Midases for the Slark, like post Shadowblade, and then grabbing that one first off for the Puck 2. So going like later and later, at least that's going to be helping them. But at the same time, you, of course, losing all these fights is going to be dropping you so much in momentum. And that's 3,100 damage done by the Arc Warden in that fight recap. He did as much damage as the entirety of SG Esports in that engagement. So even with just this Midas and the Maelstrom, it's absolutely absurd how much Anna can put out here.
I mean, despite how far down they are, they did a very good job of making sure they keep everything sort of even. They don't take these towers down too quickly. You know, pretty good stuff so far.
It's actually crazy to see the fact that they're still holding this tier 1 tower, but that comes back to, I guess, the idea that they don't have too much tower push on the Dire side. They have the Enigma, but Tavo hasn't really had a chance to set up there because they do have very good wave clear on the Radiant side, at least in terms of like distance too. Just being able to use like Shadow Shaman is pretty good in terms of supports. Now that he's got a couple levels stacked on him, and that was the first time we got to see the wards come out. Very helpful to try and bring down HFM. And just the range of this Arc Ward too can, of course, safely push waves with the Tempest double.
By the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but Mighty's gaming, they've got one on the clock right now. They're going to go for an initiation. Dreamcoil will come through. He's got the Shadow Blade. Do they have detection? The Frostbite will come out. They'll try to chop that Tempest double. They will get this kill, maybe. Magnetic Field comes out. They need this kill. HFM will finally grab it. There's going to be the Chronosphere to counter initiate. Not nearly enough. They're looking for more. King RD really diving here with the Battery Assault. Gonna try to get out. Cat's nearby. He does have his freezing field, and Black Hole is still available. Can they finally take this tower? Not yet anyway. HFN on the back lines. Silver Edge break misses the pounce. The Dark Pact is there. The lasso is up as well. And HFN mistimes the Dark Pact. The Hex will come out. They'll get the kill. Again, a dive too deep from this Brazilian squad. They could have just backed off, happy with what they've accomplished, taking down Anna, but losing that Slark again. Not the greatest fight there for SG.
No, King RD made a hell of a play, though. Just on those the side of those trees there, and then getting the hook shot into 3 heroes with the cog push, helping to bring down Anna in the first place. But Yeah, if you lose this Slark, you know, he's trying to disrupt that backline, so they have some time to push the tower down with the Enigma and everyone up front, but just not quite enough there. And Tavo, well, he's aiming in towards a Blink Dagger at this point, maybe trying to think that if I can at least get back there with the Slark, I might have a chance to get off a decent enough black hole so we can secure one of these fights and actually bring this tower down. But yeah, for now, it's just more and more space for OG.
Yep. Again, all this room, you get that Arc Warden up to a critical mass, and it's so tough to bring him down. I was wondering, I clicked on the Slark thinking, okay, well, is he going to buy a Lincoln Sphere after that death? And the answer to the question is yes. Yep. He's picked up the Ring of Health, and he'll move into the full Lincoln Sphere if he can get it. Might as well help him farm it. He's already got the full Perseverance.
I might even consider disassembling at this point on the Silver Edge.
Silver Edge, yeah. It's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough some games, but we'll see, you know. But the Monkey King too, Jerax, I noticed he's aiming it towards the earlier Shadow Blade. So another very good item on the Monkey King, of course. This is when the hero first dropped. Everyone was playing this like core roll situation. They tended to rush that item first. Just so much damage with the Boundless Strike. But not the Medallion, not going to be the Basher right away. But when they have a game like this, and you know, we often talk about Shadow Blade these days for Magnus or for Axe's Cat. Should be okay here.
Oh my god.
Easy. But whenever someone's trying to outsplit push you and stuff, the Shadow Blade's the best item, right? The Blink Daggers, a lot of times heroes have time to react to that, depending if you're like a Puck or something like that. But when you're coming out of a Shadow Blade, it's not nearly as easy to avoid those initiations.
It's going to get a bit tricky here for SG. They will be on the receiving end of the smoke with the C gank if they keep walking mid and they aren't careful. HFN's up in the front lines right now. A couple of sentries placed down for the raiding team. OG not making any too sudden movements here.
Quite the bait.
Ready to go. Yeah, they're thinking about it pretty heavily right now. Both teams, in fact.
Oh, no tail. That's Hey, he's not popped though, but it's close.
The high ground.
Yeah, they're fully committed at this point.
No wards to spot out the Dire yet, but there are some pings coming in from ADR. It seems that he knows this location, or at least he has an idea about it.
Yeah, Cat is pinging it like crazy too.
The Eidolons came through, and now they'll see no tail. There's a ward there, by the way, for the Dire team. Player over at Roche, so.
A bit of waste of time for both teams, though. Like, you know, they're all just standing by on SG Esports anyway, so. Bounty Runes, some Midasing. Oh, actually, just going to skip right over. Got Tempest Double.
It's Tempest Double, so. Bring it down real quick, but it actually will go down. That's a duration. HFN's starting to split up the map as well for this team. He's getting very close to his Lincoln Sphere, about 1,000 away. And again, this Tier 1 tower has been their nemesis, man. They've just not been able to find a way into this Tier 1 tower yet, Trent.
Yeah, and this is the problem of not having someone that can do Roche, because you have all this advantage, but you don't have anything to do right now. You're just like ramming your head against a brick wall, because you're like, well, we could kill them mid. That's like all their lineup can do, so they're stuck, but this is pretty good.
Chronosphere, the hook shot as well. They'll find the bucket. He's going to get dropped down. Mukar's command. Black Hole comes out onto 2 from the low ground. Tavo does it perfectly. They'll bring down S4 as well. Cat getting himself a double kill. HFN wants his kill on Anna. Can he find it? Pounce will come through, and he will get that pick off. Jirax now getting caught. Turns himself away with that. I think the courier, but still HFN getting a double. Breakup now. Fly's going to get caught, and they're all going to go down. 5 heroes dead for OG. What a black hole from Tavo. They don't even need ADR for that fight.
All right, there you go. So, here, head against a brick wall enough times. Eventually, it will crack. So, they have found their way into the Tier 1 tower. That was a very nice initiation from the Puck, too. Just, like, right into the trees. He's, like, kind of YOLO. He's just like, you know, if they're going to throw this Chrono onto me, that's fine. I got my Enigma and my CM. Sick Wombo combo. The new double bubble.
Man, what a fight. What a turnaround. I didn't even see how ADR got caught there at the beginning of the fight. I think he just went in and he just got caught with yeah,
he
Chrono.
Just went ham. He just like went right into those trees, and then the Chrono came out, and S4 was there.
I will give my life for you guys.
It was worth it for sure.
Yeah. And now they have the Blink Enigma. Again, no black hole. He just used it, but he's got a lot of farm. No Midas for him, and I think he's one of the few on his team that doesn't, other than the CM, because, well, guess what? Cat's a little poor.
Yeah, he's being the nice guy.
And he's dead now.
Well, the CM life.
So just up for S4, and they find him a pretty easy kill. So
can't even get the bounty rune. It's a hard knock life. Tavo does have his blink up now, and that was without it in the last fight. So certainly very impressive from him. Expect some more big black holes, and he's only keep the black hole level 1, so it's kind of the standard black hole stuff. But soon it shall be maxed out here. I did go for the GPM as well, so that's going to help him get up to those bigger items like the Refresher, like the Octarine Core that the heroes kind of become synonymous with. But wards are dropped down mid, and they don't have the best way of dealing with this when there's this Chronosphere about to come back online. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, that's a nice tower taking. from OG Esports. Not much they can do for SG. No-Tail just trying to get some farm. Will they go for the Chronosphere? He's got it. Dark Pack comes out. And he uses his Shadow Dance perfectly timed, but they still may be able to chase him down. He does have a Silver Edge, but this might be a dead HFN. Wukong's command, they've got the Shackles up as well. Big kill. No-Tail rotating early. Huge. They needed that.
Yeah, this is why we would see the Faceless Void counter up against the Slark. So very bold to go for it still, I would say, for OG. Just not a hero we see too much, but when it's such a good core counter like that, just coming back to that standard draft philosophy of trying to counter cores with cores as much as possible. This is what you can get, despite being down so much. The Chronosphere just owns Slark. You know, you saw him there. He's TPing, and even when using the ultimate, still not enough to survive there. But whole team down bottom, Jerax here.
Yeah. This is what we've seen before. When you've got that Chrono down, that big cooldown gone, you want to go for a push. But a great stun coming into the lasso. Frostbite immediately. Force away. Freezing Field into the tree line. Cat has to leave now. Flame Break. We might not see anybody die here for this fight. Cat trying to run. Eidolons will come through. Meanwhile,
nice
split pushing top is going to be Fly, and farming elsewhere is No-Tail. He just used his TB scroll, so he couldn't come to the fight, and even if he didn't have Chronosphere. And that must have been the thought process trend for SGs. We want to make a go with Chronosphere now down.
Yeah, try and punish these cooldowns. But great stuff there from both teams, honestly. Like the way they're using, we talked about the Silencer and the Batrider, but they're using Jerax in kind of the same way, where he's invis. He was outside of any sort of sentry range that had been dropped down by SG Esports, just knowing that where he was in the tower, there's no way they could detect him. And he just layers that Boundless Strike perfectly when the Batrider's going to jump in. So just ensuring that no one can do anything about it, but not quite able to get the distance there for S4, even with the Force Staff. So good save there as well, where he had the Eidolons heading to the tree line from Tavo, just making sure that they be tagging up that Batrider so he can't blink. So all around, both teams just looking good in terms of this major. And they will deny that bottom tower. So in some ways, SG do get what they want, and we'll try and limit a little bit more of this farm here from the
Oh god, ADR, man. And even the mid laner is just getting shreked by that Tempest double, and it's not even just Cat anymore. Mantis Tile has been completed for No-Tail. Good for them for OG is that this net worth lead has started to taper off, as you can see. It was around 10,000, more around 8,000 to 9,000 right now. A significant advantage still for SG Esports, but again, we've talked about Ana, we talked about the damage they can do in these fights. The initiation when you have Batrider on the high ground or over at Roche, you definitely cannot count them out, especially at 27 minutes into the game.
HFN even building into a Mantis Style here, so having some troubles with the enemy team. I mean, a couple different reasons, I'm sure. Just probably mostly time dilation. If he doesn't have a Purge left for that, that can put you in some pretty big trouble.
This is not a common pickup. You do not see this very often for Slark.
Not generally tells you he's not having a very fun time.
No. And even with it, he's still done a great job. 9, 3, and 2 on the Slark. But what do we see next, Trent? It looks like they're flaring around Roche. They're kind of positioning themselves for a smoke here. Do they go for Roche, or do they go for a pick or a fight? What do SG need to do here to keep the pressure on?
I don't know, it's tough, right? Because you have this Chronosphere. If we look from dire side vision right now, they don't have too much going on. So maybe a smoke in and around to try and get themselves a vision advantage. Just knowing that they have the Slark, right? They're the ones who should be able to know this kind of stuff. So they certainly want as many. In fact, do they have any wards right now? They have 1 on the Clockwork. So not going to be a successful mission in that sense. They just want to go for some kills. So flares are scouting the way, but I believe it was just pinged by Ana. He saw the flare come out, so he knows there's smoke there.
Yeah, they should have an understanding. In fact, look at their positioning.
Yeah, they know 100%.
Ana is going to walk up a little bit. Jump in. Dreamcoil comes out. Shadowblade. Waiting Rift. Good. Chronosphere. They're going to come in with the Wukong's command. They will look for the black hole. It gets canceled. But a great hex from Fly. Boundless Strike coming out. Ana still might not live here. Hook shots coming. No-Tail will fall. Wukong's command doesn't do enough damage, but they will still take 2. And now HFN solo. Can he get away? Silver Edge already used. They're looking to jump in. S4 gets a double kill. Great counter initiation. OG were ready for it. Yes, they will lose No-Tail, but they will get so much more out of it, including another kill on that HFN Slark.
Yeah, just good eyes by Ana, though. I mean, he 100% spotted that flare when they were smoked up, so...
Oh. It's fine. They still get the kill anyways. They flame break and they missed the Boundless Strike, but S4 will still find himself a triple kill. What a turnaround. And again, this net worth graph is going to start to head back in that Radiant direction, and guess what? It's Roche time, Trent.
That was almost a little bit cocky from SG Esports. Just saying, like... Because they knew they had no vision. They had a little bit of vision. They're just like, all right, they're not down here. They're not in here. So obviously they're all in here, and they're basically just saying, all right, we're just going to try and outplay you. Like, it wasn't the sneakiest of smokes, right? They, even if they weren't flaring and stuff, it was pretty evident on the map, the positioning of the creeps, that people weren't exactly hanging out. Oh, blocked.
Jerax is dead. They should get that kill, and they will. Now, can they go any further? Flare will come out. It's pretty low. It looks like they will take this Radiant for OG. It's going to be Anna picking up the Aegis, a huge Roche. Yes, they do lose the Monkey King, but at the end of the day, I don't think that really matters that much.
Yeah, it's pretty much his whole mission was just to be in those trees and block the hook and make sure you couldn't come in there. So I believe the Force Staff, yeah, it's not quite done yet for King RD either, so it would have been a pretty deep dive for him. But it's that brick wall, man. That's all that was down bottom. They have nothing else to do with this lineup. They have a Slark and a Puck. And going later, like, these heroes can do some pretty cool stuff, right? You get into these bigger talents. You have this illusory orb distance, which can be very helpful in these situations against games like Arc Warden and Naga Siren, where with your bots you can move everywhere around the map instantaneously. Like, it's absolutely absurd. As much as I love that GPM talent, I definitely concede how good the yeah, the speed is.
We've seen it a handful of times, and it's pretty damn good. I think we saw it in that last series with Embro, like we were talking about earlier, where we saw that Arc Warden. But I do think that you're right. Illusory Orb is going to be the go-to for ADR this game. So
yeah, I'll have to see. I mean, if you need that Scythe or something, or if there's some other items that he feels that they need too much for the team, he might still go for it. So we'll find out. I do think King RD's Force Staff is probably the next biggest item for them. I mean, the Black Hole for Tavo as well. Certainly going to be very helpful for them as long as he can avoid out that Chrono. But here's our Manta Style now down, and it's OG. We're getting a little bit aggressive. Scan is successful, so they'll spot out that there's someone moving this direction or this direction. They're not sure which one, so they'll have to approach with caution. But with the orb coming out, they know 100%.
No, sometime walks up. Just won't go for it now. They don't know who's up here, whether everyone is or not. There's no vision for the raiding team. Even with that Roche fight, they still haven't been able to take complete map control back yet. It's going to take them a little while. But they do have the Aegis, and
they have King RD's gem too on S4, so that's huge.
Ooh, yeah, that is big. I didn't know they picked that up.
I believe Puck had it and dropped it in that last engagement.
That's pretty good. So if you're SG, do you have to wait until the Aegis runs out, Trent? I mean, like you said, you're kind of hitting your head against the brick wall, but
yeah, they're just really hoping they can pick off like an Arc Warden or someone all by himself. But that's what Tempest double's for, right? Anna's just chilling with his team, split pushing down bottom. They have nothing to gain on the bottom lane. The best possible thing they could get would probably be the tier 2 mid, but there's a lot of TP points. You have a Shrine here, so you don't want to get hemmed in and choked out into another bad team fight.
Yeah, it looks like this is just going to be a free tier 2 tower for OG. It's pretty insane. Magnetic field, no goes to work.
And Networth's going to start slipping more and more their direction. There's a TP down bottom, though.
It is
it's just a Tempest double, haha!
I mean, that's, you just baited so hard, honestly. It's like, that's just Arc Warden in a nutshell. Got him!
Yeah, he's so rich, too. He's almost catching up to the Slark now.
Yeah, he really is. So, Anna not having the best start, but again, Arc Wardens, that's to be expected. And turning it around, being involved in some pretty big fights. No-Tail having some huge chronospheres. It's really just a combination. And again, it's what you expect from OG. It's the team play.
And the Bat or the Monkey King. It's time, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh.
Welcome to the team fight, hero.
Yeah.
That bash.
Get ready to get bashed.
This is the true new double bubble. This I am down with. Chronosphere and this thing, like, he just Chrono, and his Chrono's ending, going to the Wukong's command. People won't even be able to move.
Looks like SG forced to play a bit more passive now, as to be expected. Aegis should be about like a minute left. Minute and a half, minute and 40 seconds actually. They have a long time with this Aegis to work with. So they can try to take another tower, and they will do just that. They will head down to the bottom tier 1 tower. Not much damage taken, but they can take this very quickly, as with an Arc Warden. It's pretty easy to do. So Silverhead just picked up Mjolnir and the Hurricane Pike. Did he go for the attack range? He actually went for the cooldown reduction, which I'm a total fan of when you go for when you have Tempest Double and all of your really good abilities. Magnetic Field is pretty good as well. So.
And Midas, of course.
Yeah,
the most important cooldown reduction
My bad, dude.
in Dota 2.
Sorry, you're right.
Come on, gotta get that
How could I
money.
forget?
Well, we'll see. You know, as this game starts to shift the other way, OG starts coming into more of an even state. What kind of issues could they potentially face in terms of building hitting? Obviously, they have Arc Warden, so not quite as poor as the Dire side has it. They're just going to use this Tempest Double to be more of like a slow burn, where they just keep going. But they do have pretty good reach on SG Esports, right? They have this Puck, they have the Blink on the Enigma, they have the Clockwork, even Slark to some extent going through the backline with the Shadow Blade and whatnot. So they still have to be very cautious on the side of OG, because this could get turned around on them. And just make sure that they're never too clumped up, too grouped. Make sure they're vigilant with S4.
It is still very even at this point in time. We'll see if they go for a defense here. KRD's Clockwork hooks have been pretty damn good so far.
By Jerax.
Jerax is way up front. He can go right in with that Wukong's command if he wants to. And his Tempest Double will do the same. And they'll start going to work in this tier 1 tower, and it looks like it will fall. The glyph has already been used, and Anna will secure himself the last hit. Meanwhile, a smoke up for SG Esports, though. And ADR staying around. He doesn't actually get hit up with the smoke, and they might try to bait this. OG's still here with Anna and Jerax. The Aegis is now gone. The flare will come through. Uh-oh, Jerax said it's time to leave, my friend. And it looks like he will, in fact, make it away. The Clockwork cannot find the angle, nor is he close enough to get that hook shot off anyways.
Yeah, they really want to fight. They have the timer. They know it's down, and oh, Fly. Looks like he's just going for this.
He is the martyr, potentially. I mean, he should be. They're going for more. They're looking for somebody else, but they will only find him. The Tempest Double will come in just to be a nuisance. Probably almost kill somebody. Do they find Jerax? He just got out. Did he literally just TP away? He must have. Perfect timing from him. Cat, meanwhile, like almost dying to this Tempest Double. Oh, man.
Thankfully, the Solar Crest is here from King RD to help him out.
The only reason.
And that does give them perhaps a chance at the next Roshan here from the Dire side.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Obviously, we don't know how long it's going to be just yet. I don't know if the pop-up might have already came. I might have missed it. Dream Coil from ADR, which was spotted by Jerax, who walked very close. But now they know Dream Coil is, in fact, off cooldown for the next 52 seconds. So you got a small window here.
Must have really thought he had him there as Cat comes in with the sentry after and just...
He was pretty close, actually. Oh, maybe not, but I'll try to give him credit for it.
We do have the Force Staff farmed up by Fly before he died, so very helpful with the Bat Rider in your team, having the double Force Staff available. And triple, I suppose, with the Hurricane Pike from Anna here.
Yeah. Lockdown's going to have to do great from SG. There is a BKB for Tavo. And remember, we talked about what there is to cancel an Enigma Black Hole at this point. Not much. Chronosphere is the big one that comes to mind. Anything else, Trent, that you can see? Not much, really. Death, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, we have the Bastion now, the Monkey King. So
good point, yes.
Can run into some troubles from that.
Wukong expand. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, honestly. The other big thing about this Force Staff, too, is just, like, with the S4, too. They're trying to break these Lincoln Spheres. Be a little bit difficult, right? He's, like, blink, shift, go for the lasso, and then, depending, maybe he doesn't have his Yules or something like that, so just having another thing to either force S4 or pop this Lincoln Sphere from HFN. It's all very handy. Even with his DD, just running away, man. Too scared.
Yeah, they are not feeling it right now. This game has slowed down considerably. It was already not the highest pushing intensity game, but the net worth graph is still right around where it was before for SG Esports. So despite a couple of deaths going the way, again, the big thing is that they have these Midases. You know, Anna's going to continue to stay farmed, and he will have a lot of it. But the rest of the team is slowly but surely sort of getting up there, but again, no Midases to propel them further into the stratosphere of the net worth chart.
And this is kind of, like, we talked about that analysis by Gorgon in terms of, like, teams and net worth distribution. That was one of the big things we used to look at a lot, where there was these huge gaps in teams of, like, how much you're putting on your position 1 versus your 2 and your 3, and then your supports as well. And this is kind of that classic OG, right, where we had, especially with Miracle, when he was playing in the mid, and No-Tail would play these very sacrificial cores.
Yeah.
It still happens today to some extent, but not nearly as bad as it used to. But this is a game where it's kind of looking like that. I mean, he's down near S4 on this Faceless Void, and the Bat Rider, just like 3G, separating them, and it's Anna way up front. So
Break will come out, Pounce is there, they'll find a nice little pick, and that might lead them into a tower, or at least to try to push. Roshan looking at the timer.
Yeah, they'll probably
very long respawn timer.
He's got some heroes in this flare, it seems.
Top lane's getting pushed. So this is you need to be careful when you get an Arc Warden. High ground pressure is something that could very well happen.
Especially with Fly, too. Like, he's looking to just drop these snakes. He knows they want an objective somewhere else. So he's like, if no one comes here, I'll do it.
ADR's rotated in, so too is Cat, and he might just drop him now. They're going to go for Fly. They can't quite get him. He'll force and blink away into the tree line. They won't be able to find him. Dream Coil will go. Fly will be able to TP out, and they need to clean up these wards.
Yeah, look at that tower.
They all chase after Fly, and I think this tower is going to die. Or at least it will soon. It's not done yet, but it's getting pretty low.
One more snake, man.
Yeah, like that's insane.
There you go, but
the split push is real.
It's like OG are doing the typical network distribution that we see from SG Esports. There's one guy like way crazy up front, and instead on the Dire, it's a pretty good spread up at the top.
Man, this Tempest Devil is becoming a significant problem. It already has been, but I think it's really, I don't know. You just have to wait for Roche. What do you do here?
Yeah, you definitely do. I mean, they're starting to scale out. They're throwing in the Slark Mantas. He's just putting them in the pit every once in a while to check it out. They have Clockwork. They can just keep flaring. And it's not going to be an easy fight. Again, they have the Solar Crest now, but Roche is a little bit tougher here, so it's going to require HFN being in the pit for sure. And probably 40R Maybe they can throw a Midnight Pulse from Tavo, but he really wants to save that for the fight itself.
Yeah,
he wants to be outside to actually initiate too, to come in with that Blink Dagger. So it's a very risky maneuver for them. They pretty much need a kill on someone other than Jerax to actually go for this.
We'll find out when that Roche contention will happen. You can already see sort of the Radiant moving over there, S4 sort of in position, respawning in about 20 to 30 seconds or so. Just trying to keep bottom pushed in, at least keep one of the lanes pushed in for SG Sports. You know, deal with the other lanes that are getting pushed in by the Tempest double, but do your best to keep the lanes pushed out. So I imagine we'll see smoke in the near future. We should have one for each team. Right now, looks like just Jerax has one, as far as I can tell. At least
such a weird game, dude.
It really... Well, I think any game with an Arc is a weird game, to be fair.
Yeah, it's crazy just like, because the item build on No Tail 2 where he has this Mantis Fusel, they're going to know he's in one of these trees because of the Slark vision, but...
Yeah, they don't have vision, though, unfortunately. The Flare? Nope.
That's Shadow Blade.
Man, they found everything except this...
he's the gem, but they don't have the vision.
No. They just needed a Flare, and he used it already.
Monkey King. But,
Oh, Midnight Pulse there. I don't think they saw him. Tavo? Maybe they did see him.
Man,
No,
this Arc Warden, it's coming in. It's got the Chrysalis.
Oh,
Give me a hero.
Break. No, Cat's like, please, no.
Not again. At least he's the Ghost Scepter, so.
All right. They're trying to get at
the
Cat.
one hit.
It's like, I need
Jerax
to
gonna punish this. Oh, he wants to
really,
so bad.
He wants to. He's
Jerax,
diving
you're crazy.
for it. Wukong's command.
Dude, really?
Stun.
That's just weird.
He might not even get this. The heals will come out. ADR gets bashed, but as soon as he goes in, gets bashed again for good measure. And Dream Coil comes out.
Team? Hello?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. This is interesting. Waning Rift coming through. Jerax is going to go down. Frostbite comes out. That was something. I don't know what that was.
All right, Jerax is clowning. He's losing it. Like, you know, this is that game where it's like 90 minutes in and you're playing this garbage support. Like, he's a monkey. He wants to fight and kill people, and his whole team is just like, well, I need more farm on this Arc Warden, guys. So, not the best here. Honestly, I'd rather kill, like... I mean, it's still better than killing Shadow Shaman, I suppose, if you want to go for Roche, but they don't have to worry about the Wukong's command, but they're still S4.
Yeah, there's Lasso, there's Chronosphere, there is the Super Wards as well, so still a lot of danger. Flame Break coming in, Roche at about half HP. Jerax in 22 seconds will be respawning. Doesn't have buyback. See if we can find any sort of initiation from either team. Ghost Scepter from Cat, just trying to deal with this Tempest double now. Magnetic Fuel will come out, but by that time, Roche will be taken down. They'll grab the Aegis, Illusory Orb, and looking to chase potentially. Yule Scepter will come out and get the Greaves off, and they will take down the double. So they will take back Roche after losing it the first time around. And just with that pick pretty much on Jerax, there's no real initiation from OG there. They don't want to go for any sort of fight.
Man, you think about that last tower push in terms of when they were actually defending from OG and how difficult it was. And they have to try and bring it once again. So this time they'll have the Aegis. They've got so many more items on a Slark now. I mean, it feels like it was like 20 minutes ago we were last pushing into this mid lane.
Pretty much.
But it's about that time again. Maybe they could go for top instead. Might be a little bit easier with the terrain there. Perhaps they could even try and have their hand at bottom, but yeah, you don't really want to fight on the high ground. You know, with how difficult high ground is these days, you want at least 2 tier 2s down, just in case you get that wipe. You know, you can apply some pressure on that other lane. You don't want this double tier 2 thing going on like it is in top and mid right now, and you can't even punish the other lane if you have this massive fight win. You know, you want to put some sort of threat into OG.
He went 420 gold per minute.
Dang.
We, again...
We're in.
We're unexpected, but it certainly is good. I mean... I'm just going to look at this guy. Let me just look at his money right now. Yeah, it's pretty insane. It is pretty nice.
Crazy. So again, we talked about it. Like, he already has the bots, so he has that global movement. I do really think, you know, I think it is pretty good to go for the Illusory Orb, I won't lie, but I think I'm always been a big fan of the gold myself, so he's going for the Scythe. He, of course, has the new change now and the newer patches where you can buy Moon Shards. I mean, that's not the worst thing to think about in consideration of that GPM talent. Refresher Orb, very good. Can upgrade his Midas and his Yule slot, probably.
Gonna come in, Fusel Blade onto HFN, jump in, Lasso will come through. He does have Aegis, now he's gonna get Bloodthorned up as well, and he might actually live. The Manta comes out, the Shadow Dance, the Guardian Greaves will be there, but that is the threat. If you get a Lasso off, that is the threat. If that's any other hero besides Slark, you're going to die.
Yeah, and here's the thing, that's Lasso, but Lasso has a shorter cooldown. You know?
They're chasing. No Tails in the trees, I think they know this. Manta Style will come out. Send the illusions in instead. Bouncing away, Tempest double doing some work. Meanwhile, top lane, ADR is clearing it out. Guarantee pops the Ghost Scepter, not looking to go too far forward. And again, we've sort of reached that stalemate.
Yeah, with S4 getting into level 20, he's going to have the 15 cooldown reduction, so the lasso just a little bit easier and easier. And if you're forcing a Shadow Dance every time, it doesn't matter, because by the time he comes back with Shadow Dance, which he's going to need if he wants to reach high ground, lasso's going to be back up, and we can just keep doing the same song and dance. And eventually, I'm betting on the Bloodthorn, to be honest.
So,
not the
I
Shadow
will
Dance.
agree with you. Yeah, I will agree with you. What you're saying, though, Trent, is this game will never end. That's
Pretty
what
much.
you're saying.
Fly's trying to do a sneaky play again here. Where, oh, this wave seems rather close to your tower. It'd be a shame if some snakes suddenly appeared
ADR's
and
here,
destroyed
though.
it.
Meanwhile, HFN's mid, Boundless Strike coming out. He will break the Lincoln Spear coming out. Now he forces himself away. Bloodthorn to come through. Dark Pact it off and see him get out as well, doing a minimal amount of damage to this tier 3 tower. Meanwhile, Fly almost getting chased down up at the top lane by ADR, but instead he'll be able to make it away. No Serpent Wards dropped yet. He still has them for an inevitable fight if he wants to go for it. Tempest double use, and Slark again taking a boatload of damage. Jesus. Okay.
God, he's
Back
so
up,
rich. He's
regen
an
out.
MKB in his backpack, guys. This guy's feeling it right now. It's pretty good.
HFN is indeed feeling
Oh,
himself.
he found Fly top.
Is he dead, is the question. Absolutely, 100%. Time to bot's bottom.
Yep, that perfect pick. Very well done. Fly can buy back.
Buyback,
So,
yeah.
you know, he'll have snakes ready for this fight. They really want to hold this.
Age is still up for at least another minute or so, probably two. Boundless Strike comes out. Good Dream Coil to come through. Wukong's command to cover the retreat. Flare out. S4 getting a little low. They have the hook shot if they need it. Now Wukong's command is down, so if they want to go for something, they can. Observer Ward
they're playing
gets
this
vision,
so
but S4 trying to at least de-ward the tier 3 tower. Bash comes out, the lasso is there. He still does have that Aegis. You'll send through onto the Tempest Double. They do have Chronosphere if they want to use it just for the skill, but can they get the tower in the meantime? No Tail, will they go for it? Absolutely. They should get the skill. They drop the supports. Hook shot into the Tempest Double. Not enough. They will find the kill. Aegis, what a stun! 3-man Cogs comes out from King RD. Not really anticipated. The freezing field. Cat actually doing some serious work on the back end. Tabo going to get Yule's up. ADR trying to turn this around. They have Black Hole, but he's already used his BKB, and Tabo's going to get turned on and just gets brought down by No Tool. Picks up himself up a double kill. ADR now getting chased down as well, and they're going to get all 5 of these heroes, Trent, potentially. Can ADR get out is the question. He'll blink himself away. Illusory Orb coming through as well, and it looks like he might actually be able to escape. He still has some work to be done in terms of making it out, but it looks like he will be fine here momentarily. But again, though, wow.
Not the 3-man cogs you're generally looking for.
No.
And now they're coming up top, and that was all the Tempest Double. Like, they can't reach this this Slark. He gets pulled in that deep, and all these Force Staffs there are just propelling S4 towards the fountain. And even with Blink Daggers, he saw the Enigma. He's like, well, what am I going to do? Like, you are so far away, dude. I cannot help you. And they couldn't even kill the towers because this Tempest Double's just sitting there in the magnetic field, wailing away on top of them.
Yep.
And now
That's what
they're
we
just
talked
top.
about in the draft. Magnetic field is so good. Malphus to come out. They will almost take the tier 3 tower, and they might be successful as well. Jarek standing in the low ground. Boundless Strike. Good phase shift to come through. The Wukong's command getting canceled. They won't take the tier 3, not yet anyway. There are still 3 heroes top. Meanwhile, No Tail trying to deal with bottom. Push that in. Mid also will take some damage as well. It just feels like SG, they have like a 15,000 net worth advantage, man, but
They were so close. So close to that bottom grab on that tower, and everything was going down. It was starting to look perfect, but all that was left was that Chrono, and just so important up against the Slark. So they thought they had it, man. If there was just like a Lotus Orb maybe on the Dire, if they could get up into that perhaps next to the clock. Oh yeah, he actually queued it up on the Clockwork. So certainly the item we see these days when it comes to pushing towers. Tempest Double, just what do you do, man? This guy just shows up and kills your buildings.
First team to take a tier 3 here.
Immediately pinged on the shrine.
Yep,
No
time to
Tail.
go, boys.
Come along,
get it up.
lads.
Let's take the shrine down. No Tail just going to work at it. Yeah, I don't think they want to fight into this. Or they'll throw some illusions coming out. There will be some rotations over from SG. There is a war to scout this out, by the way. And again, like I said, even though there's a pretty much a drastic net worth advantage, or at least there was for SG, it kind of feels like they're behind right now, especially after that fight. You know what I mean in terms of momentum?
Yeah. No, definitely.
Oh,
And, oh,
all right.
that was a quick grab down bottom. So let's see them before the air.
Okay, he did buy back, so you have 80 seconds without the Shadow Shaman. So at least there's no Serpent Wards and a little bit less lockdown. Something to keep in mind. I don't know what they can get done with it, though. Roche again.
Roche was up.
Ooh, man, refresh your puck. I like that a lot. He has Scythe, so double Shivas, double Scythe, double Yules if he wants it, double Dream Coil. Obviously, all of his abilities, everything. I don't need to go over. You guys understand. I don't need to tell you. You're all competent Dota 2 players, I'm sure. Let me explain one of the most basic mechanics in the game. Anyway,
all these items and spells, you get them twice. It's amazing.
it's a little late here.
King
Trent. I'm a
RD
bit
misses
silly.
on the hook shot here.
If you have Axe,
I'll just find a Tempest Double.
It's still pretty short cooldown, although.
Yeah, it's not too short.
30 seconds. They really want this tier 2 tower. They will find it. At least with the creep wave, they're not going to be able to take it themselves. But tower will go down, and that's what you're talking about. You would prefer to have the mid tier 2 tower instead of the off-lane one because they're not connected. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yes and no. When you're sieging, it can be nice to have the two like this if you're just like all on one end. But at the same time, now there's like that split push option where like Puck could be up here just clearing this wave, and you're all down bottom.
You got to draw on the map, man. It's tough for me to see where you're drawing.
Oh yeah, over here. You know, you can be pushing there, and you can be pushing down here, and like you can't cover both as easily as if you can cover these two.
All right. I kind of knew what you were talking about, but
I got you.
It's for the viewers.
For the people.
Wink.
Speaking of these terrifyingly complicated items, the refresher is now out for Tavo as well.
Yep.
So classic Enigma.
Man, they just have such a large net worth advantage that you expect them to get more done. But OG, again, this is just a testament to their team. Hex will come out, and they're going to try to look for this Bat Rider. Dreamcoil coming through as well. Now, is the question, does he refresh it? He can. Yules will come in instead. ADR just looking to take it down. Illusory Orb. S4 forces himself away. Still on the hunt. They might be able to bring him down here. Blink out too. They still know where he is. The pounce coming in. He's going to try to get out here. Juking. Great juke from S4.
Oh
Beautiful stuff. They will still find it with the Illusory Orb. He will use himself momentarily. He's got Blink in one. Cannot find it. And they will get the kill. Now they'll turn on the Tempest Double as well. Now remember, S4 does have buyback. So
that was their gem.
Yeah, huge pickup there for SG Sports, especially if they force this buyback. And by the way, look at how low this tier 3 tower is. It'll only take a couple of auto attacks from this Slark to bring it down. Now remember, they don't have Aegis, so HF needs to be a bit more careful about his positioning.
So this will be all about the chrono then at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And they will take the tier 3 down. I think SG might be just happy with that and back up.
Oh, but you're here, man. This guy's dead.
Yeah, they want to force the buyback. Here comes the chrono. They'll find ADR. They'll try to take him down. Black Hole comes in. Doesn't find No Tail. Will only find Anna in the back lines. He refreshes, but he dies instantly. Buying back coming out from the puck. They're going to try to fight this No Tail. Mantis up. He'll fall. He's got buyback. HFN going to work. Jarex will fall. No buyback for him. They need to get out. King RD as well. Trying to hightail. He'll be the one that gets lasted. ADR has come back in, but it's just him and the Slark against these wards, along with pretty much everybody else, too, from OG, with the exception of the 2 heroes that did go down. We'll see if they want to go back in, though. They do have this this Enigma back up in 10 seconds, and they're going to go right in. No Chronosphere, no Serpent Wards, no Lasso, but they do have the Glyph for OG, which will force SG back in time. And, a buyback coming in from Puck maybe when it didn't need to.
It's so
see
tempting.
If they continue on here. Oh, Anna's just going to push mid right now.
And that was the 5K swing overall after the fight. Heading in OG's favor, of course. And yeah, there's that Tempest double. And oh, tower. Oh, it can't hit me. I hope you guys are going to bring some heroes back.
Well, it is already gone now, but Magnetic Field. Yes,
the next
excellent.
one will be there soon. Don't worry. Like, someone needs to come back mid.
He's going to go on the range racks instead. He is doing a lot of damage, and he looks like he will take the range racks down. Jump in. Lasso's not there. They jump in. They've got the BKB. They get the black hole off. Anna falls instantly. Has to buy back. Can they get this back? Now they found more. Hex, he just bought back. He'll fall now. No tail down. 2 dead for a little bit. And S4 is going to get jumped out as well with the Dream Coil. They're still going through. HFN pounces him. Anna cannot afford to die here. He'll die back. HFN gets a double kill. The Brazilian squad, they've got the dominating Slark. He'll find himself a triple kill. And it is all unraveled for OG in this first game, Trent. Oh my lord.
Those refreshers coming in from the Puck and the Enigma. Just the perfect item here. The double scythe. Completely catching OG.
Jerax, can he get anything done? HFN getting a bit low. Jerax will pop the BKB. Tavo coming back and already used his black hole, still down for a bit. He'll get hexed up. Buyback coming in. That'll be from Fly. King RD and Tavo sort of kind of the front lines here. Illusory Orb coming in. Jerax might get caught. There's the lasso. Tavo going to get brought into the well, and he will die. He does have, again, a quick respawn, and he will buy back. They want to finish this, and they want to finish it now. They've got a little bit of time to work with here. 82 seconds without Anna, 55 without No Tail. When he gets back, he will indeed have that Chronosphere they just used last one, jumping in. ADR doing some work. They'll find Fly. He dies back down for 100 seconds. The Ancient is exposed. All they have to do is go to work. Jarek's coming. Can they get HFN? No, he'll fall. They will lose 4. The Yule Scepter comes out onto Jarex. They're going to work at the Ancient. They'll dive the well. HFN doesn't need to go too far. They might do this. The Ancient getting lower and lower, and it looks like game 1 secured by SG. What a victory.
That is a testament of a victory there for SG Sports, honestly. That was a pretty tough one to close out. With an Arc Warden and the Spaceless Void, there's just so much high ground defense to worry about, so much rat and split push. And it was getting close. Despite that huge net worth advantage, the double kill onto Anna and No Tail just